What's up, memers and memettes? It's your friendly neighborhood shark. So a little while ago, I was cruising right-wing YouTube for more material for Base Leftist Blows Loser Chuds Back Out with Poggers and Logic episode 245, when I accidentally clicked on a channel that opened up a wormhole and sucked me into a parallel dimension of cringe. This little adventure basically made me into the breadtube's version of Christopher Columbus, but with a little less slavery involved. And I have to tell you that this has quickly become one of my favorite lore holes on the entire internet, and not just because of the killer music. It's been years in the making and has so much to offer, and I've been spending the better part of a month combing through this, but getting as much as I can get my hands on, and I wouldn't take a second of it back.
Top 3 phrases to begin a conversation.
納稅係偷
Taxation is theft.
Now, what am I talking about? It's the Pholosopher. They are basically a YouTube channel dedicated to making the world more capitalist. They're just your run-of-the-mill libertarians, but there's a whole lot more here, and they're looking to break free from the shackles of society. And we start our adventure with the YouTube channel with the namesake Pholosopher, whose earliest videos date back to 2016, and they remind me of the simpler times in life: dunking on SJWs, shooting guns, fighting for a $0 minimum wage. Wait, what?
Yes, freeze.
Yeah, you heard that right. That's how she starts off every video, every single video. She hits you with the
Yes, freeze.
that will never get old.
The minimum wage should be $0. Why? Because that's the real minimum wage. When you cannot get a job because you don't have enough skills to be paid the minimum wage, you make $0.
I think you just get paid $0 because you have no job. This chick think like when you're a neurosurgeon and you're in between jobs, you just have zero skill, it's just taken away from you, you just have none. People have skills, just sometimes they just can't get jobs. Do you think everyone who doesn't have a job has zero skills? No, my skills, please, no. They're gone. It's all over.
The minimum wage does not lift people out of poverty. If it did, the government would just tell other countries to raise their minimum wage instead of sending them foreign aid.
We actually do. When we make trade agreements and stuff with like Malaysia or Mexico, for me personally, when I don my sick Nike kicks, I'd rather them not be made by like a child slave or something, crouched over, hand stitching my shoes as someone walks over.
Pog.
Oh, I thought I turned those off.
If it did, why not make the minimum wage $100 an hour, or even $1,000, or even $1 million an hour, and make everyone a millionaire?
Oh, yes, yes, please. Oh, I can feel it now. My 1 billion trillion gazillion dollar an hour minimum wage. Can you imagine all of the Stofers that I could buy with that? I'll be up to my undercut in Salisbury steaks. Ooh, baby. I'm sorry, but $12, $15, $20 an hour minimum wage is not $10 quadrillion in minimum wage. It just isn't. She went on to make this sort of like anti-government, anti-poor people style videos for a little while, until she thought that she'd maybe mix things up and do something a little bit more practical, like how to build your perfect libertarian commune.
The top 5 projects for creating libertarian communities. Number 5, the Voluntarist Initiative. The Voluntarist Initiative is a community and family-friendly activist climate promote the virtues of non-aggression, private property, free markets, self-ownership, and peaceful parenting.
Wait, they're gonna make their own nation in the middle of the woods? Dude, if you wanted this, why don't you just go be Amish or something? Private property? What do you mean private property? You have no property. You're in the middle of the woods. Imagine them getting into a whole fight over whose dirt patch is whose. Are you guys gonna be trading like smooth stones for like pine cone earrings and balsa wood tampons? I don't get it. There's like 15 people here. What are you guys doing? Imagine just stumbling across this when you're in the woods. You and your family are just going camping. Honey, I think we took a wrong turn. No, honey, I got it. What's this little branch fence doing here? And the Voluntarist Initiative just comes running out from behind a tree, fucking ooga booga. You went against the non-aggression principle. She dipped her toes a little bit into our sort of style, like react type videos. She doesn't do this much anymore, but I wanted to look at this because it was actually like really interesting, because she was in a no holds bar, absolute put your dukes up battle with other Asian Americans over them experiencing racism.
And I say, I was born in the States, but I lived in Korea for a bit. And he says, wow, your English is so good. And I say, well, I said I was born in the States. And he keeps pushing, saying, but you're so articulate. Your English is impeccable. At this point, I am about ready to tell the Lyft driver, to tell this guy to just jump off onto the West Side Highway.
How is somebody enthusing over your English accent racist?
Wow, your English English is great, honey. You? I couldn't possibly imagine that your kind could ever have such good English. This dude's like hovering over her and examining her like a chow chow puppy or something. Can I touch it?
Last month, I watched a white man who I consider to be progressive pull back his eyelids to describe Asian people.
What does being progressive have to do with seeing that Asians have slanted eyes? That's one of the features that distinguishes Asians from other people. That and martial arts, and slurping noodles, and being good at math.
One of the worst parts about this in particular is just completely invalidating the racism that other Asian people have suffered at the hands of people who are using these sorts of stereotypes to harm them. Just because a stereotype may be seen as good, it doesn't mean that a stereotype is good. What if the Asian kid isn't good at math? What if he's a very musically talented person, but not very good at math? Everybody just assuming that he's really good at math can lead him to falling behind even worse. And then people think that he's a worse than average Asian person or something, all because he's just not that good at math, just like any other person. There's no math gene or noodle slurping gene inside of Asian people. It's just a stereotype, and that's all it is, a stereotype, and it shouldn't exist, and it harms people no matter what you say. If you don't find it offensive, fine. If you would be okay with someone doing that to you in some random setting, cool, whatever. But lots of people aren't. Many Asian people are not. And it is just so incredibly weird for you to just be imposing what you think onto other people and saying that it's bad or wrong or something, or SJW, for it to be very rightfully offended when people make fun of you. With bouncing around and testing new content, she stumbled onto my favorite era of her YouTube channel, which is making music.
Emotions are stupid and I don't respect them. That's right, I just reject them. Show me your principles. Your principles. What? Show me your principles. Your reasoned evidence.
ANCAP parodies? Really? Who thought that this was going to be a good idea? By the way that she was dancing and looking into that camera, it looks like it wasn't her. Put the fedora on. Oh, I see. The fanfare has started, huh?
Black and yellow style, fuck you to the statists. You laughed a lot before, but now you all afraid us. Scream about roads now, taxman got the papers. Banning gold or crypto, but laws cannot contain us.
What, does this chick have her entire life savings in crypto and gold bars hidden under her floorboards? 401k? Wrong, bitch. I've got blockchain.
Gonna be explosive for wreck pocket news. You cannot handle respect to private property. It's okay, you're a stop. Take this bullet for free. No liberty without reciprocity. If you dish, you must take.
Also, I'm pretty sure it wouldn't be a true conservative universe if there wasn't a little smidgen of coronavirus denialism in there.
Yo, are you tired of being told what to do, where to go, and how to think by a bunch of sick psychopaths?
That's how I feel every time I load up Twitter, just so you know.
Fuck the mask order and the new world order. Fuck the mask order and the new world order. Fuck the mask order and the new world order. Hang the pedal politicians and their state enforcers.
Do what now? See, the first time I opened this up, I just thought that she was talking about, I hate when the government tell me to wear the piece of cloth over my face. And then it turned from that instantly to fuck the mask order and the new world order. Oh no, I didn't know the masks were like the chum bucket hats from the SpongeBob movie. Like Joe Biden's going to press the button and they're all gonna like snap to our faces. But here she goes full conspiracy. All of the politicians are pedos, except for Donald Trump, obviously. She loves Donald Trump. They eat babies while they're sitting crisscross applesauce in the satanic circle. Oh, hello, puppy. Hello, he's here. Also, she parroted some weirdo, LARPy ass, revolutionary conservative shit later in the song.
Fuck the governors and their mandates. String them up, light them up, heads out on stakes.
The heads on stakes, heads on pikes meme that's been going around with conservatives, as far as I found, been able to go back to Steve Bannon on his show.
Now, I actually want to go a step farther, but I realize the president is a kind-hearted man and a good man. I'd actually like to go back to the old times of Tudor England. I'd put the heads on pikes. Right? I put them at the two corners of the White House as a warning to federal bureaucrats. You either get with the program or you're gone.
And then it was parroted again on January 6th when they were rioting the Capitol.
We can take that place and then Heads on pike!
It's like their version of the guillotine meme, but it's more stupid because instead of doing things like hoarding wealth and using their money to exert political power to make it so there's a poor class of people that are constantly suffering, it's like you just don't suck Trump's dick hard enough. You're just not sucking the fucking skin off of that thing.
When they opened up again, the lies didn't end. As the death count started to fall, the story changed again. Instead of counting deaths, they switched to counting cases.
This is actually a classic COVID-19 meme where people are like, oh yeah, so somebody's walking their pet toaster down the road and then they get hit by a semi-truck and get turned into Detroit ground beef. And then the doctor goes, yeah, it looks like a COVID death to me. That doesn't happen. Well, here's what actually happens. If you guys didn't know, people will get hurt. They'll die from complications due to COVID. So they wouldn't have died if they didn't have COVID. Then that's a COVID death. And also, they didn't stop counting deaths. You can tippity type it in with your own little fingertips. If you're watching this video right now, if she made that video, then I know for a fact she can type in COVID deaths. You can still find COVID deaths. They're not gone. But this isn't the first time that Fo's brought up her skepticism of COVID. And on that note, that means we get to bring in a new character, and his name is Jack. Now, when it comes to the Pholosopher Mythos, Jack has been with Pho for a little while now, and I think they're married. They may be dating. I'm not necessarily sure. They're doing something together. He's getting that mutual consent, if you know what I mean. But Pho and Jack stream also on their YouTube channel. And a little while ago, they did a whole live stream trying to debunk masks.
So, as the title suggests, we'll be testing out some masks.
Yeah. We're going to
These
be
masks.
testing out a couple of masks here.
They're all white, coincidentally.
Yeah, they're all white, so someone will somehow say that this is, racist. But
It's okay to have white masks.
Yeah, it's okay to wear a white mask.
As you can see, we have a couple of comedians here. This is giving me big Dave Rubin stand-up vibes.
You guys in the mood for a tremendous... This girl's reading everything. You just want to read. I feel like that would, if you read a lot, you'd become bisexual. Like, you just keep reading, and then one day you get, I don't know, some words, and then... Okay.
We want to kind of just show the real difference between what it's like to have a mask that's actually meant, to filter out things versus masks that just make it look like you care, but yeah, it really doesn't do anything. Okay.
Wow, so many familiar faces. Welcome back. Travis, saw you. Oh, whoa.
You know he's serious because he has one of them fancy vapes. You know what I'm talking about. The ones where you gotta replace the GPU every now and again. Now, surprise, surprise for Vape God Jack, but I don't think there's anybody who said that a surgical mask is going to provide an airtight seal like a nuclear submarine. But with all that being said, I would like to get into the backstory of Jack. Now, Jack has been an ANCAP voluntarist at the very least 10 years, and I'm quite sure he's been dabbling in cringe politics for even longer than that. But the very first expression of his ANCAP tendencies was all the way back in 2010. My man went to a protest as an ANCAP. He went there with a mission. He saw all of the horrible things going on, and he said, people need a hero. And he was going to be that hero. Yes, I know I'm wearing a different shirt. It's a very different day. In the next segment, we're going to be talking about the history of Jack and what he's been up to in the last 10 years of making content as a voluntarist. But until then, I hope you all have a great one. Take care of yourselves. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed, please hit the subscribe button, leave a comment and a like if you liked it, and stick around for the next 2 parts of the series of The Voluntarist.